What if one of the biggest reality shows that you grew up watching was built on a solid foundation of lies? By now, we all know that much of what we see on television is deceptive. From alleged insights into the chaotic lives of various people, all the way through to dating shows where they distort time to make people fall in love as fast as possible, despite them even barely being compatible, it's a murky world for the contestants and viewers to navigate. But what most people don't realize is that the show that shaped our whole idea of how the rich and famous lived was just as fake as everything else on TV, and maybe even set the blueprint for today's over-the-top social media lifestyles. In fact, you can make the case that it set the standard for the similarly exaggerated perfect lives that people project onto their social media accounts today.
You know, there was a TV show and they was trying to make a show, and they started actually renting houses for people that didn't have houses. They started renting cars for people who, so that their situation would look the same as whoever they had on the show. I think that's where they messed up. You know what I mean? That's where they took that part of what you're talking about out. They tried to do that with Redman, and Redman was like, nah, I'm gonna take you out of my house in Jersey.
Right.
They was trying to give him a house and car, and he ain't want to do it. So people just was like, nah, let's fake it and make it look like this is my house and these are my cars.
It's your boy Louaista, and this is how MTV Cribs was faked. But before we get into it, let me tell you guys about today's sponsor, Surfshark. You see, MTV was out here faking houses, but online, there are companies pretending that they don't have your info while they're secretly selling it behind your back. Your search history, your location, what you buy, everything. And honestly, that used to freak me out because I'm always researching wild stuff for these videos, and I don't want companies tracking every move I make. That's why I use Surfshark VPN. I've had it on my devices because it just makes life easier and safer, and when I'm checking out stories that I definitely don't want tied back to my name, Surfshark keeps me ghost. Surfshark hides your location, protects your data, and lets you browse freely without ever feeling like someone's watching you. And they just dropped 2 new features that I'm sure you love, such as Web Content Blocker, which blocks those shady websites that look like they were built to steal your grandma's credit card, and also Email Scam Checker, which tells you if that delivery failed email is real or someone trying to scam you. You can even get cheaper flight tickets and unlock shows that are blocked in your country. And if you're ever nervous to try it, don't be, because Surfshark has a 30-day money-back guarantee. So go to surfshark.com/Louaista or use code Louaista to get 4 months of Surfshark VPN for free. I want to thank Surfshark for sponsoring today's video, but now let's get back into it. First debuted in September of 2000, MTV Cribs quickly became a cultural phenomenon, and over time, the show's formula became so predictable that it even developed its own cliches. Like every rapper claiming MTV Cribs made them watch Scarface just because everyone had a Tony Montana poster. And it really makes you wonder if any of them had actually seen the second half of that movie. At times, certain stars were living an extreme more luxurious lifestyles than the producers realized.
When MTV Cribs first came to see me, that was like, where y'all live at? Y'all live in the country or y'all got cows? I'm like, man, hold up, welcome to my crib. I live in a mansion. How you doing? This Master P, and welcome to my crib, you heard? Tank is 24 karat gold. All these floors are marble, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to take your shoes on. We have somebody come in here and clean up. Elevator, you know, I had to get one of these in there. You know, when I be playing basketball, I might be tired of walking up all those stairs. Be able to take this baby.
During the show's original run, the over-the-top mansions packed with pointless luxuries, like the kind Master P was showing off, got so absurd that even Dave Chappelle ended up doing a hilarious parody of them.
MTV, come on in, you broke motherfucker. White Panda. Hulk Hogan choked one out for me in China for my birthday. This side is Bald Eagle. Look at my chandelier. It's $2 million. It's made out of expensive chicken dinners I've eaten over the years from baller-ass restaurants. Come with me.
It's time to see my shoe collection. You know ballers love nice shoes. Everybody got their Dunks and their Jordans or whatever it is they wearing. But see, I like to cut the middleman. Shoe closet. I got my own sweatshop. Goddamn. I got these bitches working 16 hours straight.
Meanwhile, other people such as Jackass's Chris Pontius made a mockery of the show's status as a place to show off your lavish lifestyle by showing how he was really living.
I'm Chris Pontius, welcome to my crib. I've been between houses for about 11 years, so I usually just live out of this thing. We're gonna start off with the living room. Here we've got, I don't know what this is.
But as funny as all this was, it took a rapper who refused to play along with the fake lifestyle to really expose what was happening behind the scenes. And now, it made us question almost everything we saw on the show. this so-called authentic glimpse into celebrities' lives, their luxury cars, and their massive mansions. Back when the legendary New Jersey MC Redman first appeared on Cribs, he provided one of the most legendary additions by simply refusing to sugarcoat his bachelor life.
Cribs, this is Redman. We coming to y'all live. Should I give y'all the tour right now of my whole house? How it looks in here when there's real in here? Come on, let's go.
At times, his place looked more like a cramped bachelor pad than the lavish home you'd expect from a multi-platinum selling rapper.
My ironing board right here. You know, we iron on the floor in here and watch TV at the same time. This is the bedroom, so you know, a lot of entertainment. I like to get right in here watching a lot of DVD movies and stuff, the nasty movies, the freaks, you know. This is for the freaks right here. And this room right here is what I like to call the De La Casa's studio. The vibe I'm looking for in this apartment is the bachelor's crib, don't even have a coffee table. This is what an apartment looked like when a brother doing this album. You know, this apartment is right in the hood and it's nice. Oh yeah, that's my cousin right there. He be knocked out over here, you know, chilling in the cut. That's Sugar Bear right there. Don't worry about him. He don't even hear y'all. Y'all not like he even here.
It instantly became one of the most memorable episodes for fans, often topping their lists of favorites. But beyond Redman's hilarious tour, what really made it stand out was how genuine it felt. Filled with Dreamcast controllers and lotion, rather than bottles of Cristal in cinema rooms, it presented a different life than what they were generally trying to peddle. But years down the line, Redman revealed that they tried to get him to conform to the usual glitzy facade that fans were used to seeing. However, the Brick City legend declined to go along with it.
That was the whole thing of the show. Like, I ain't have nothing to do with their platform of the show. Their show was artists living lavish in a house. And I was looking at that shit as well before I even did it. I was like, damn, every goddamn artist's house is just clean and shit. You know, that's how they really living. Like, really no furniture. All the furniture is neat and shit and all over the... I was like, nah. I said, for some reason, I feel like some of them motherfuckers is just renting a house to do that shit. Find out some of them was. I can't do that. You know, I ain't want to do that.
Despite their attempts to get him to masquerade a mansion as his own property, Red just refused to back down and wanted to present a raw and uncut look at the reality.
I wanted to show where the fuck I was living at the time. I don't know if they thought it was a good idea and shit, but I said, yeah, just come to my house because they wanted me to rent a house. They wanted me to rent a house so I can open the big double doors and shit like, yo, look at my shit, you know. And then people around my way been like, you know, goddamn well, that wasn't your house. They came in, my shit was like, you know, damn. You know, you sure you want to do it in here? I was like, yeah, I want to do it in here. They came at an odd hour, 8 in the morning, trying to surprise it. But it all worked out overall because I was believable with it. It wasn't nasty. There's a difference between being junky and nasty. My shit was junky.
In Redman's case, he was happy to disclose what it really looked like to be a rapper who hadn't strayed too far from his roots. But it's safe to say that most of those who signed up to cap on Cribs have been unwilling to reveal that this was actually the case. And now, many attempts to pull the wool over the audience's eyes have been exposed for the falsehoods they truly were. Where Redman refused to patronize the viewers with a fake home, there are plenty of rappers and artists who are happy to do just that. Among the most infamous examples of this came when Ja Rule rented an 8-bedroom mansion in Miami for his episode. Because he was killing it on the charts at the time, it seemed entirely feasible that this was how the Murder Inc. flagship artist was really living. However, he did seem to briefly admit that the house wasn't actually his.
While some players go down to the beach and they rent rooms and such things like that, we rent mansions to have good times.
Set against the backdrop of a huge party in the backyard that even featured Jay-Z among its guests, this led to a hilarious moment where he called over a dog and started telling a whole backstory about it, even though they had probably just met that same day.
See, that's that guard dog right there. Cookie, Cookie, come here, Cookie. Cookie be acting up, man. Cookie only chase you when you're on a bike or something like that. That's when he, you know, don't come around here with no bikes.
And by the end of the segment, he went all in pretending it was his property.
You gotta have your bathroom nicely set up. You know, you probably look around and say it's real feminine in here, but that's cool. That's cool, because you know the ladies like stuff like that. Seen the crib, seen some of my friends, the party, pool. What else you need to see? Get out of here.
At the time, viewers likely thought Ja Rule was living an unviable life that most of us could only dream about. But even if he was enjoying the fruits of his labor, he wasn't always doing it at this Star Island home. Because in 2004, the person who actually lived there sued him over the kind of mess he made during the filming of the episode. After leasing the place to Rule, homeowner Jeanette Varela returned to find severe structural damage and discarded condom wrappers and syringes everywhere. To make matters worse, Varela only found out he'd violated the lease by throwing a 600-person party during his 4-day stay after she saw the footage air on MTV. As part of her lawsuit, she pointed out that the lease clearly stated that the property was to be used only as a private residence for up to 8 adults, no parties allowed, and that she never gave permission for any filming to happen there. Understandably, trashing someone else's home and bringing in a film crew without permission was bound to piss her off. In fact, Ja's lucky that Airbnb wasn't a thing yet, or he might have never been able to ever get another property again. But what's even more embarrassing than his reckless behavior catching up to him is how he boldly tried to flex on the world with a house that wasn't even his. But he's far from the only one who did this. A massive star in the UK, singer Robbie Williams borrowed actress Jane Seymour's house for his segment, and once he got them through the door of his massive estate in Bath, England, he was another one who was lying to a ridiculous extent.
This actually is where I spent my Christmas day. This is where the magic happens. Look at this. Rob's camo, some cords, black is the new brown. Through here, a few of my jackets, my tailor.
And the problem was that, much like Ja Rule, he neglected to let the homeowner know what was going down. We didn't let Jane know that I was going to pretend it was my house, he told a US radio station years later, and because I was like 23 and full of spunk, I didn't even consider other people's thoughts or feelings. So I would like to take this opportunity to apologize to Jane Seymour. While he tried to use his youth as an excuse, there's perhaps one person who found to have falsified her living situation for the show who can maybe get away with it. Propelled into stardom by tracks like Leave Get Out, 13-year-old pop star JoJo was actually living on the road when her segment was shot and pretended her uncle's house was her own. And as you can see, she really committed to the illusion.
Hey, I'm JoJo. Welcome to my crib. Come inside. This is my vacation house. I do spend most of my time in New Jersey, but I love coming here. And what I'm first going to show you is the living room. This is some of my family. They're crazy. This is like a Winnie the Pooh chair. It would be really cool if I could still fit in it, but not really. Whatever, I like Winnie the Pooh.
But where most of them have never admitted to it, JoJo clearly couldn't live with the lie, and later admitted that the whole thing was just an attempt to hide what her life was really like at the time. It was so ridiculous. The thing is, we didn't have a home at that point. My mom and I were living out of suitcases and we were mostly in hotels. So that was actually my uncle's house on the Cape. That wasn't my house, that wasn't my stuff. When I was sitting on my spinny thing, that was his kids. That's the truth. I should have balled hard and been like, welcome to my crib. Look how luxurious it is. And I should have rented out a place. But no, I just used my uncle's crib. So that was me lying on cribs. As a young and naive artist, you can understand how she thought that she had to jump at the opportunity to appear on a big show like that. But for some people like the Ying twins, their attempts to masquerade a home as if it was their own was particularly ridiculous. Because in their case, it looks like they hadn't set foot in it before filming, let alone anything else.
Hey, yo, how y'all doing? Yo, come on in. It's me and my brother. First room I'm finna let y'all see is the sea room. We got the fishing right here. What their name is, y'all? That's Kudzu, you, and Money Green. Yeah. Then you come along, we got the boats to go with the fishing. We waving like the sea. Well, you done brushed up against. Bada boom, bada bang, boy. We decorated this ourselves now.
And over the years, their appearance had gone on to be as much of a meme as Redman's cousins sleeping on the floor. But it's clear that they were fooling no one. All the white neighbors watching out their windows at the Ying twins wondering who just rented that house for the weekend. 18-year-old me, damn, Ying twins living good. 34-year-old me, these dudes clearly rented this house. Although things like the Ying twins pretending to be aquatic experts are hilarious, there are other instances where people pretending to live in lavish pads showed the pressure they have to portray a glamorous image. A prime example of this came when Dame Dash rented a London home from Mariah Carey for his appearance. Situated in the sought-after area of Chelsea in London, Dame's appearance showed off his obscene shoe collection, which he claimed he never wore the same pair twice.
The reason why I got that nickname, Young Fresh to Death, is since I was a young lad,
I've been known to be fly. I've known to pop tags. I don't like to wear the same things twice. So I'm gonna show you my problem. And it's a serious one, because I got a lot of sneakers. Matter of fact, this is not my house door, this is my hallway. Before we even get to my house, I have a secret room where I keep my kicks, some of them. This looks like it could be a problem. I might need therapy, but like I said, I just love sneakers. So as I look around at these flavors, there's the red ones, and as you see, they're categorized by color. Nike made me a sneaker called the CEOs. So if you look inside, it says CEOs. But the thing about it was they didn't make them available to sell. That bothered me.
But where this went from your average stunt to something more sinister was the financial woes that were just around the corner for the Rockefeller head. In 2010, he foreclosed on 2 Tribeca lofts before revealing that he was $100,000 behind on rent in 2013. But somehow, he still found a way to blame his appearance on Cribs on his old partner Hove.
That was 30 years ago, bro. That was in another century. Like, get over it. I know I hurt people's feelings, but the fact of the matter was, in that situation, in MTV's Cribs, it was more cost effective because every month I was flying artists to London to break around the world. So it was more cost effective instead of spending $70,000 for a weekend to spend the money just getting a crib. And the reason why I had to move around in the first place was because Jay was supposed to be the spokesperson, but he refused to do it. If I'm gonna live and be the artist now, because he won't, then I gotta be treated like one.
But you can bet that when the cameras were off, he was most likely wishing he bought a few less pairs of Jordans. On the subject of shoes, there are some stars who discreetly used Cribs as a means to lock in a brand deal. Long before influencers had to disclose sponsored content, Destiny's Child used their Cribs appearance as a sneaky way to promote a shoe brand. In a now iconic moment, they were seen showing off a Candy's shoebox, disguised as a part of a breakup ritual for Kelly.
You have to show them your box. My box? For all the ladies that think that you're the only one that can't let go of memories when you have a boyfriend and you break up, Kelly keeps the box. This is her box. Okay, it's all good because we will move on. We are independent women.
And within a year of this video airing, the iconic R&B trio were the face of the entire ad campaign for them. Over the years, since the series first aired, a whole array of dirty secrets about how they really created this illusion have come to light. And since those early days, it was revealed that people weren't just renting homes, but high-end cars too. Among the people who were caught out doing exactly that is none other than Bow Wow, renowned for his willingness to portray himself as a private jet flying star when he actually goes commercial. It turns out that the former child rapper's tendency to sneakily slip into the persona of the mogul started way back in the day, as during his time on the show, he was in stunting mode from the very moment he opened the door.
Yo, what up, man? It's your boy Bow Wow. Welcoming y'all to my crib, you know what I mean? About to take y'all to the Prince's throne, which is my room. Ladies, this is what y'all been waiting for. Yes, ladies, that is my bed, okay? I got Jordans galore that you might not even see. I even got the official Bow Wow shoe, man. Y'all see this? All jerseys. I got a mink. And you know what's funny? I got this 2 Christmases ago, and I still haven't worn it.
After what he'd achieved before he even turned 18, no one would have hated on him for doing that. However, it would have been all well and good if it wasn't the fact that his cars were all branded from a Miami luxury vehicle service.
My Ferrari 360 Modena. Y'all be pronouncing them Medinas because y'all probably don't got one of these bad boys. We're gonna move it to this black thing right here, which is my baby, my BMW, my 645 black on black. I call this thing the Night Rider right here. Burgundy insides, how rare.
But considering how he acted in the years to come, as charted in our Child Stars Who Fumbled the Bag video, he never learned his lesson. Due to Bow Wow's history, no one was exactly shocked that he'd done something like that. But one man who they were shocked to learn had either faked his wealth of cars or was trying to scramble to cover his financial tracks was 50 Cent. Way back when G-Unit were on top, 50 showed off his sprawling Farmington, Connecticut estate that was previously owned by none other than Mike Tyson.
What's the matter with you, man? MTV Cribs is here. I don't want to do Cribs unless I could do the whole thing. So I'm gonna take over the whole show. Let's go.
And at a time when the show was already pretty crazy, he still displayed some things that were a first.
This is actually the strip club area. We have the lovely adult entertainers for adult entertainment.
But while all this was really his home, the one thing that he masqueraded as his own were his luxury vehicles outside.
I know you ain't see these before when you was watching Cribs because everybody ain't got these, you know what I mean? This is Curtis right here, you understand what I'm saying? It's the Ferrari F50. I don't really use it for much. Really what I do is I use it for conversation. I get around my really rich friends and they say, I got a Ferrari F50. I say, me too. This is the Enzo right here. It's $1 million.
Considering how much 50 was killing it at this point in time, there was no reason to suspect that they weren't really his Ferraris or Lambos. Years later, the truth finally came out during 50's bankruptcy hearing, where he admitted under oath that the flashy cars he showed off on MTV Cribs weren't even his. When the lawyer asked if he'd ever filmed himself showing off cars that weren't actually his, 50 replied, "You mean like MTV Cribs? Maybe." And after a few more questions, he finally confirmed it. At that time, those cars were rented. By the looks of it, everything that we thought we knew about how these celebrities lived has been cast into doubt by the harsh reality that when it comes down to it, they're just as eager to impress and can be as insecure as we are. But above the lies that were told on camera and the money that changed hands, the real issue is that Cribs put pressure on celebrities to always be exhibiting their luxurious lifestyle, even if the reality of their situation is a little different. And with that, it's led the way to countless rap stars of today literally going broke by treating their IG like their own personal episode of the show. And whether or not that was their intention, it left a permanent scar on the culture and society as a whole that looks like it can't be undone.